Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Hello everybody, happy August. I am back. I have got so many little videos in the works for this month. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you enjoyed the last couple of videos, even my little cheeky one about Harry being not so happy these days. I'm actually going to start off this video because I'm going to address a couple of complaints that I've had. People have actually written into me to complain that they do not like me talking about anything to do with my personal life, anything to do with my mum, anything to do with holidays, anything to do with my dogs, anything basically about my life. They just literally want me to just straight away speak about the royal family. Also, someone did take the time to tell me how unprofessional I am as a journalist. So where do we break this down? First of all, as you can tell, I'm in my living room. This is not a TV network studio. I do not have help. I do not have runners. I do not have people bringing me my coffee. I do not have cue cards, hence why I make mistakes. I am not a journalist. I do this for fun. I do it because I like talking to you guys, and I'll let you in on a little secret. I spend 90% of my time doing these videos. From here up, I'm made up. From here down, I'm still in my Mickey Mouse pajama bottoms. And just for those people, here's some pictures of my dogs. Basically, I walked in on them cuddling, and if you can see here in the slow motion action shot, Leela, the darker one, went, "Quick, it's Mum, I meant to hate you, get off of me." See, you can see that. You can just see her little brain going there. So for the rest of you that like hearing me chat a bit at the beginning of my videos, don't worry, I am not changing content. So let's get on with the video. The Prince. Yes, Gary Janetti's Instagram account has come to life in the form of an HBO cartoon. I'm going to be really honest here. My initial first tweet when I saw the clip, I was a bit nonplussed about it, and I even posted, here's my tweet here. I know that I'm not going to be very popular with this, but I don't see what all the fuss was about. If you ignore it, it will go away. If you don't watch it, the ratings will drop. And to be honest with you, at the time I looked at it like it was just an episode of Family Guy. You know, the little boy that being Prince George came across as trying to be Stewie too much. I think Gary Janetti might have done even better if he'd have actually just done Lois and Peter and Stewie as the royal family. But as I said, so I posted it, and then I was like, I just don't get the fuss. I watched South Park. Yeah, no, don't hate me for it. I have watched South Park from episode 1 right the way up until recently. I used to watch Family Guy all of the time. Obviously, I've watched all of that. Another cartoon which I love, and I know some of you are going to hate me for it, is Big Mouth. I found it hysterical. But there is a very, very big difference, and I'm going to come to that about all three of those shows. Now, as I started saying, I was just like, didn't bother me. I actually giggled in the trailer. Don't shoot me. I giggled in the trailer. I didn't giggle at the children. I giggled at the bit with Prince Charles where "Come in, Mummy," and the Queen shooting the butler. I've watched things, you know, to do with, Spitting Image. I watch various comedians that make you laugh at things that you really should not laugh at. I admit, I hold my hands up. At first glance, I was like, don't get all the fuss. But then when I actually showed the clip to my husband and watched it properly, what then dawned on me was, these are real children. Now, think of South Park. South Park is generally based on fictional characters. The creators have said that they have based some of the characters on people that they've met throughout their lives. This actually goes the same as Family Guy. The creators of Family Guy have based characters on various people they've met throughout their life, but they've not actually used their identity. I guess it can be anyone from they met at school. I think there was one that I read, it was to do with a security guard that they used to know. So these characters are all loosely based. Now then you get to Big Mouth. Now Big Mouth is actually on children, and this is what loads of people have flipped out about because it's going, well, that's disgusting, that's awful. Some people have even tried to get Big Mouth banned. But a big difference with Big Mouth, the children in that story are based on the creators' childhoods of when they were children. A lot of the storylines that happened are based on actual events that happened to them as children. But they are adults now, and they have chosen to write that about their own history, their own past. They are all grown-ups. What I find weird about this as well is Gary Janetti's Instagram account, where he first started this is the whole premise for this cartoon to have been made. He was taking the piss out of Meghan. Yes, he used little memes of Prince George, but it was generally Prince George making a cutting swipe at Meghan and Harry. And that is what earned him quite a lot of followers, because people found it funny. He'd take, aim about the fact she was a terrible actress, that she was a gold digger, how much money she was spending. And it was all these different subjects that people laughed at. Now, I know some of you think that's really cruel. We shouldn't be doing that. But British people have always had humour where we laugh at ourselves. I mean, take Spitting Image, for example. They still haven't actually been that brave compared to how harsh the original series of Spitting Image was. But there is a massive, massive difference here. It is all based on adults. Even some of the comedians that are so harsh that get on stage, these comedians have made careers literally out of making you laugh at something that in the real world you wouldn't laugh at. In fact, if you were in a social situation and that particular scenario happened, you would be mortified. You could probably get arrested because you probably hit someone. But in that time, in that moment, that's the skill that Ricky Gervais, Jimmy Carr, Jim Jeffries, they're not everyone's cup of tea. Comedy is not universal. What makes one person laugh does not make the other person laugh. My husband is absolutely obsessed with a TV show where it's these 4 guys that do the pranking all the time. And I can't stand it. I can't even walk in a room. If I come in the house and he's got it on, it's either a polite request of, how long are you watching that for, darling? Or I've got to go out. I cannot handle it at all. But he's wetting himself, literally wetting himself. I never used to like Ricky Gervais. Now I love him. I can't get enough of him. As you get older, your humour changes. But as I said, that is a very big difference between laughing at a joke to having a complete cartoon series created about real live children. Prince George is 8 years old. Princess Charlotte is 6 years old. And I think Louis is like 3. Now, another thing which I find so hypocritical. Harry and Meghan have said nothing. Radio silent. And why are they radio silent? Well, I've watched several clips of it. I did try and watch an episode. I was going to stream it. But when I got to the point of being a couple of minutes in it, I didn't need to. I really didn't need to, because I'm just going to give them the ratings. Not that Gary Janetti or HBO are even going to count or have even heard of me or even noticed, oh look, Taz is not watching it. But it's still for my own moral compass. I did not want to watch it, because when you actually think of the reality of it, it is morally wrong. You have all of the hypocrites that are Hollywood, that is the elitists, the A-list stars. But one of the hugest things with them is privacy. Harry and Meghan, all about privacy. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom have recently been discussing about the fact that their baby Daisy Dove needs her privacy. Of course she does. She's a little defenseless baby. Now, why do I mention Orlando Bloom? Well, Orlando Bloom is actually voicing Prince Harry, and he's actually made a comment about it and defended his actions because he's now friends with Prince Harry. Reportedly, he wasn't at the time he agreed to do this, but now they're buddies. A news report came out not that long ago when Harry and Meghan moved to Montecito that they actually text each other to warn each other about the paparazzi and the helicopters that are flying around. You know, privacy, privacy, privacy. But do you know what Orlando's excuse was? Now, this is utter hypocrisy, and no wonder he's friends with Harry and Meghan. I try to justify it because, quite frankly, if I'm honest, it's not like me to poke fun at anyone, but it's done with affection. When I was in my mid-20s, there were so many people poking fun at me, and in a way, it's a sign of appreciation. Oh, that's the thing, Orlando. You were in your 20s, and I pretty much bet that you didn't find it a sign of appreciation, people ripping you all over the internet. It's easy to twist that round now because you're trying to defend your actions, but talk about hypocrisy. Katy Perry herself has said that, she's had struggles. The amount of abuse that she has received from fan bases, from anti-fan bases, people, once you put yourself out there in the world, people think that they own you. The amount of abuse, as I've said before on my channel, that even I get. But I'm an adult and I choose to put myself out there. I choose to have a social media account. Katy Perry chooses to be a singer. Orlando Bloom chooses to be an actor. Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis did not choose to have a cartoon made about them. Their life is going to be hard enough growing up in the public spotlight. But here you've got Orlando defending it, saying it's a sign of appreciation. No, it's not. You can't justify yourself. You're a father of 2 children and you're bullying. You're helping bully. 3 defenceless children. Sophie Turner, Sansa Stark, famously. She has recently voiced her concerns and her disgust, her and her husband, one of the Jonas brothers, I can't remember which one, but she has voiced her disgust about the fact that a photographer took pictures of her daughter and invaded her privacy, baby Willa. Yes, I agree with you, Sophie. It is wrong. I don't think that photographers should do that and to be able to sell the pictures without the parents' permission. But how can you justify voicing Princess Charlotte on a show such as this, where it's catty, it's cruel, it makes little jives about weight, social class equality? It just literally rips the children apart as well as their parents. And not only that, Sophie Turner gave an interview where she said that as Sansa Stark, bearing in mind she was 14 years old, she got bullied so badly that she said that she had suicidal thoughts at that young age. She was bullied about anything from her acting skills, about her skin being spotty. Bearing in mind she was 14, 15 years old. She got picked on about, oh, she's put on weight. Now you imagine being that age and having those comments and reading those sort of things about you. So surely she must know firsthand what it's like to be so young and receive abuse from people because of a character that you portray on TV. But again, the difference is she chose to portray that character. George, Charlotte and Louis do not. That is the absolute hypocrisy of all of these people that are demanding privacy. Yet here they are and they think it's perfectly okay to take the piss out of these young children, and they are taking the piss. Do you know what? The adult side of it, I don't care. Gary Janetti could have run with it doing the royal family piss take. That's up to the royal family. There are so many shows out there that have ripped the royal family, but they're adults. I'm not saying it's okay. There's been a recent clip of the latest episode of The Prince where Prince Philip is basically displayed as someone who is, you know, in the throes of dying. He's only been dead a matter of months. How cruel it must be for the Queen to be even reading about this, for courtiers, for people that love Prince Philip. There is such a thing as too soon, and it is too soon. I don't understand why the creators and the people that worked on this show couldn't have just done it on the idea of a royal family, where they, you know, did a brand new family like Family Guy or American Dad, but they were members of an unknown royal family, an unknown country. It still would have been funny. They could have made jokes and digs from different royal family members from all around the world, but they haven't. These are real children, and that's the biggest problem here. They are still going to school. If they were 18 years old and this cartoon was done, I don't know. Maybe they would laugh at it. Maybe they would actually turn around and say, fine, we want to proof it. Yeah, okay. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I certainly do not agree with Charlotte, George and Louis growing up with this cartoon that their friends are going to see. It's going to be on the internet. They're making out Prince George to be gay, to have gay undertones. Do you not think that little boy is going to grow up with enough speculation on his life, who he's dating, who he chooses to be as he grows up, without a cartoon being out there for the world to see, depicting him as a spoilt little brat? I don't understand the logic of why they've done it. As I said, they could have gone down so many different more avenues, but I also don't understand how Gary Janetti gained notoriety and popularity with his Instagram blog where he took the piss out of Harry and Meghan. And Harry and Meghan are the only two people in that cartoon that come off lightly. Literally everything they've done, every bit of material that Meghan could give, they have had nothing done to them. Meghan's a slightly washed up actress, but she was that when she was in Suits. I'm sorry, but how can they justify the level of abuse and jokes and crudeness that they've directed at every single other member of the royal family, but then Harry and Meghan get off lightly? When Meghan was the one that Gary used to literally rip the shit out of. Gary was reportedly friends with Trevor Ingleston, Meghan's first or second husband, depending on what you read. They apparently were friends when they met at NBC years ago. So you think that, you know, if anyone was going to get a little bit of a scathing attack, it might have been Meghan. But I have been given some additional information as to why has Gary changed his tune. Gary, I have actually got a little bit of an article here where he stated the reason why he doesn't pick on Meghan anymore is why kick someone when they're down. So you won't take the piss out of a fame-hungry, desperate celebrity that married up into the royal family to just cash and grab and do a runner with her prince back to Montecito because she couldn't handle being a duchess. But hey, let's just pick on the children. That is where it's morally wrong, and I'm very, very shocked that this was even allowed to go to air. I don't understand why, I don't know, maybe there is something going on in the background that we're not privy to. Surely they would have had to have gone to the Cambridges of the royal family to ask if this is okay, because it is about actual, real, live children. And if they haven't, then maybe they should, because if this is going to be the start of something, this is not okay. I would no more be okay with this if they were doing it on Archie and Lily. It's not okay because these are children. Archie did apparently have a bit of a role in the latest clip, but again, they have left Archie and Harry and Meghan alone. So why is it that they have got a free ride? Well, I was informed that Gary Janetti, whilst he did used to take the chronic piss out of Meghan on his Instagram, when the George Floyd death and all of the uproar and Black Lives Matters happened, apparently, and I don't know how true this is, so, you know, I'm just throwing it out there, this is what I have been told, he deleted hundreds of his little posts because he was too worried that he would get cancelled, because people do get cancelled now. So is that it? Is that where his morals and his scruples lie, or that of the TV show and all of the creators that worked on it? Is this the world that we are bringing our children up in now, where you can literally bully and ridicule someone that can't defend themselves, but someone who might be able to defend themselves, oh no, we'll let them off. We'll let them off because she might sue. We'll let them off because they might affect my career. That to me says everything what everyone says about Hollywood being true. It is completely hypocritical. It is really, really wrong. I don't know how long it's going to be before my channel gets taken down, but I stand by this. I think it's absolutely disgusting. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. I have a next video coming up in the pipeline. Quite a few people do actually write in and they ask me about the social climate aspect. A long time ago when I first started, I did a video saying the reasons why I didn't like Meghan Markle. I've since changed my tune on some of this because saying I didn't like her was actually a bit harsh. So what I should have said was I was suspicious of her. And I want to give you an update because there's some more things that have come to light, and I want to explain why I actually believe social climbing is definitely something that Meghan has definitely perfected. So I'll be back with you guys very, very soon with another video. Take care for now. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typist, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.